If you're running Google Ads right now and you haven't set up and optimized your ad assets, formerly known as ad extensions, then you're leaving free clicks and sales on the table. This is one of those things that most advertisers overlook, but it's honestly one of the easiest ways to get a bump in your click-through rate quickly. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through every different Google Ads asset type. I'm going to tell you which ones to focus on, which ones to avoid, and I'm going to give you my top strategies for each and every asset type. By the end of this, you're going to be ready to hop into your ads account and boost your CTR by setting up the right ad assets or optimizing your existing ones. Now, if you're new here, my name is Daryl. I've run a Google Ads agency called Big Flare for over a decade now. Over at Big Flare, my team and I have helped hundreds of businesses to scale with Google Ads. And on this channel, I post Google Ads strategies, tips, and news that you can use to grow your business. Right, with that said, let me first show you quickly where you can find Google Ads assets and then how to create new ones. And then after that, we're going to look at each asset in detail and talk about strategy. All right, guys, in just a moment, we're going to go through this and explain every ad asset type and what you can do to optimize and improve it. But first, let's go through where you can actually find ad assets in Google. It's getting a bit confusing these days because now you have Performance Max that has asset groups, and then some of the text and video ads that we put in our normal campaigns are now called assets as well. But when I'm talking about assets here, I'm talking about what used to be called ad extensions, and they can be found here. So if you're in Google Ads, you click over to the left-hand sidebar under assets, then you've got assets here. They used to be called extensions, and these are all the sort of little add-ons that you can add on to your ads, your search text ads, that bulk out the ads, give it more space on the SERPs, on the search engine results page, and just make the ads generally bigger and improve its click-through rate. So you do want to be able to set up all of the ones that are relevant for you. You've got image, all these guys here. We're going to cover each one in a moment, but when you're setting up a new one, you just click the plus button here, and then you've got all the different types here, and then you can just click for whichever type you want to set up. So if we do a site link, there you go, you're off and away with creating site links there. So now let's look at each individual one. Now, every single type of ad asset can be set up from that ad asset screen I just showed you. You will also see ad asset creation options when you're making your ad group. So this is just an example ad group I was setting up. If you are creating a new ad group in Google Ads, you go through this flow, you go set up a new ad group, you input all your details, do your keywords and all that stuff, then you write your normal ad copy. So here's the normal ad copy, headlines and descriptions. So if you've set up ads before in Google, you're familiar with this page. And on this page, you can also set up your ad assets. So this can be done when you're creating your ad copy for your search text ads. You've got images, business name, business logo, site links. So that's exactly the same as all the ad assets you see here. So if you are at the stage where you're actually writing your ad copy, you can make your ad assets right here from the ad copy creation screen. Or if you are going into your account, you've already written your ad copy and now you want to find assets and add it to your ad group, then you come here to assets over here and then click the plus button to add assets. So let's talk first about site links. Now, I put these first on purpose because I think they're probably the most widely powerful and relevant ad asset for everyone to know about. So what are they? Site links look kind of like this. It really depends on whether you're showing up in desktop or mobile, and there's a few different ways that Google can make your site links look. Like, for example, it can also look like this. These are site links as well. So sometimes it's just going to show the text in a little button like that. Sometimes, especially if it's on desktop, it is going to show your description lines as well. So that's how it looks. They show on your search ads, and the reason they're so powerful is because look how much bigger the search ad just became, right? Without the site links, the search ad is like, this big. And then with the site link, the search ad is like tripled or quadrupled in size. So definitely set up all your site links. It's a free CTR boost. If you haven't done it already, do it. If you've done it but you don't have fully optimized site links, then pay attention to some of these tips because they will help you boost your CTR. Who are they for? So we're going to go through all the ad assets today, and not every ad asset is for you. Some of the ad assets are for everyone, and then some of the ad assets are specific to specific types of businesses. So that's why I've got this column here. Who are they for? So site links are for everyone. Everyone can set up site links, and everyone should set up site links. Tips for site links. As many as possible, please. So you can go up to 20 site links added to your campaign or ad group. And a lot of people just stop at 4 or 5 or 6, and this is not ideal. The reason why is because what Google is going to do is for every ad of yours that it shows, it's going to pick and choose the combination of site links that it thinks will have the biggest impact on your CTR. If you give Google only 4 site links, then Google has no room to choose which site link is going to boost your CTR the most. So that's why I always tell people, go to the full 20 site links. That way you're giving Google more options. When Google has more options, it can boost your CTR even more when it's showing site links. So one thing to know is that each site link needs to have a unique URL. So every site link is going to be clickable, and it's going to send the user off to that landing page. So this ad here will have one landing page for the main ad, but then each of these site links down here is going to have its own landing page, right? So you need a separate URL per site links. You can't have one URL in each of these site links. So it's just worth knowing that you need distinct URLs. But if you don't, like sometimes I work with clients and they don't even have 20 pages on their site. They've got maybe just one product and a really simple site, or the way their site architecture is set up, it's difficult to find 20 unique URLs to make site links around. So one thing to note is that you can just do site searches as long as the site search shows as a unique URL. So on this example site here, if we searched, for fish oils, so that URL there could be a site link URL if we wanted to do a custom site link for fish oils and we didn't have a good page on the site to send fish oils traffic to. So let's just go back there, and yeah, there's a few different types of site links that I recommend creating. I think you should create keyword-rich site links, extra messaging site links, variety site links, and call to action site links. And sometimes a site link can do 2 of these jobs, right? Or even 3 of these jobs. Sometimes a site link could be a variety site link that is also including a call to action. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to take a bit more time on site links than the other things because I think site links are the most important. So with site links, I'm going to show you some examples, right? So I am creating site links for this brand and this product here, not a client. I'm just using them as an example. And here's some that I wrote earlier. So I'm on the new site link creation screen, and my product is the ultimate omega fish oil, #1 fish oil brand in the USA. And here are some site links I have written that demonstrate these principles here. When I say keyword-rich site links, what I mean is write site links where in the headline you can put in some keywords that show that what you have is incredibly relevant to what the user is searching. Now, you're already going to be doing this in your headline and description. I hope your headline and description will already show relevance, but a site link can be an additional chance to show even more relevance, thus boosting your click-through rate. So this site link here is an example of this is a double example. This is a keyword relevant site link and it's a call to action site link. So you can put call to actions in your site link titles. That's a good tip as well, very useful to do. So this here, shop omega-3 fish oils. Can you see what I'm doing there? I have combined a call to action, shop our fish oils, but this is also very keyword relevant. Like, we are targeting people searching omega-3s and fish oils, and I've whacked that right there in the site link text, thus boosting the relevance of my overall appearance of my ad to the user. Extra messaging site links. So this is where you're not necessarily using keywords, but you're just thinking about what extra messages can I give to my potential customer that would make them more likely to click and buy. So like when you look at site links like this, there's a lot of text, there's a lot of space you can use that just gives you an opportunity to get more messaging across. So here's an example of that. Subscribe and save 10%. So I am getting an extra message across there, like I'm going to have some messaging and USP and benefits in my headlines and descriptions, but then I've got, it's another call to action headline as well actually, and it's extra messaging. I'm telling people that if they go with me, they can subscribe and save 10%, which is an offer that this brand has. You can see the copy coming up there. So that's extra messaging. You can treat site links like extra copy space to put more messaging in there. Variety site links are like this. So in this example, someone was searching for my omega-3 fish oil supplement product. And what I did was I also had a site link to a completely different product, which is a good thing to do. Remember, Google's only going to pick and choose the site links that are relevant, so it's going to pick and choose site links that it thinks the user might click. It might have audience data on the user that shows maybe that person might be interested in kid DHA gummies. And either way, it's a good practice with site links to show the variety of products that you have, give users that messaging that you have a big variety of products, you've got other options available. All of this can help improve your click-through rate. And account level and campaign level. So that is another tip, which is with site links and with most ad assets, you can choose to set them either to the account level or the campaign level. Now, most ad assets, I just recommend you set them all at the account level so that then they just run on all your campaigns, and then you just make sure that the ad asset is actually relevant to all your campaigns, it's relevant to your whole business. And some of the ad assets I think are so important that you should also, in addition to having them at the account level, you should also have them at the campaign level. Customize them at the campaign level. If you have a bunch of site links at the account level and you have no site links at the campaign level, then the campaign will use the account level site links. But if you put site links at the campaign level, then the campaign level site links get prioritized. And site links are important enough that it's worthwhile customizing them, at least for your top campaigns, maybe for all of your campaigns. It really depends on how many campaigns you have and the spend and results distribution between those campaigns. So account level and campaign level. Okay, we're going to go through the other ad assets a bit quicker. I wanted to take more time on site links because I do think they're probably the best and most useful ad asset. Okay, images. So this is how image assets look. It's a small image that shows up sometimes on your search text ad. I should add that all of these ad assets don't show up all of the time. Google, in its algorithm, just figures out when it's relevant to show these things and when it's not relevant to show these things. So when Google thinks it's going to give you a CTR boost, it might show one of your ad assets or multiple ad assets, but just know that it's not showing all of these all the time. You're going to add all of these ad assets that are relevant to you, but most likely any one ad that someone sees, it might have one or two assets on there, but it's not going to have all the assets on every single time. Okay, image assets, they're pretty small. That's one thing to note, especially on mobile. But image assets are for everyone. I think everyone can afford to add image assets. If you're e-commerce, product shots work well. Lifestyle shots can work well as well. Product shot on clean white background can work quite well. Add a variety and a number of images as well, once again, so that Google can pick and choose. Avoid generic stock photos. High resolution and mobile friendly goes without saying. And the other thing to note is it has to look good when it's small, right? It's quite a small image, and it's especially small on mobile. So this example here is actually not a good example, because if you imagine the image being quite small on the page, you can't really even make out what that is. I can sort of see it, but you want images that look better on mobile and when a bit zoomed out, because they are going to be quite small on the page. Business logo and business name. These are actually two different ad assets, and I've just combined them into one. There's not much to say here apart from everyone should do it. There's no disadvantage to just adding your business name and your business logo. Yeah, make sure it's clear and legible at all sizes. Match brand identity everywhere. Don't call, like, if you call your business one thing over here on socials, don't spell it or name it differently over here when you're putting your business name into Google Ads. Make sure your business name and logo is consistent everywhere. Obvious stuff, really. Upload multiple variations if needed. That's referring to the logo. You can upload multiple versions of the logos so that you've got like different sizes and aspect ratios. And the whole point of this is just to reinforce trust and professionalism. Everyone should do it. There's no disadvantage to doing this. Callouts. So callouts are kind of like little site links, but without the link. Okay, so this is how they look. These are callouts down here. Callouts are going to just display a piece of text messaging that you can customize and write yourself. So it's normally going to be a lot smaller than site links, but it does show up more often than site links, and it's just an opportunity for you to get more messages across to the user. Everyone can and should be using callouts. Once again, tips: add as many as possible. Like site links, you can go for 20, so do that. Use specifics like numbers and guarantees. Use those where you can. Look for opportunities to use those. Highlight your USPs, your unique selling point, and your benefits. This is a great opportunity for you to insert some of those into your ad copy. Avoid vague fluff like great service. Rotate and refresh with promos, so your callouts don't have to be static. I see a lot of people who just end up launching callouts and then never looking at them again. You can rotate and refresh them, and one good thing you can do is any promos or discounts that you're running, you can add as callouts, but just do remember to add them on the right date and take them off on the right date if you're doing a promo. There is also a promo asset, which we're going to cover in a moment, but having a promo callout is something you can do in addition to the promo asset. Also, don't keyword stuff. This is a mistake that I see some people making, is they think that callouts are just an opportunity to write lots of keywords. Callouts aren't going to help you trigger more keywords, and just repeating keyword phrases and keyword stuffing here is not useful. Go for USPs and benefits and use specifics where you can. Just looking at this example here, and to give you an idea of what I mean by specifics, right? Like fast delivery, that could be improved by being more specific, and you could even get a number in here. So instead of fast delivery, you could say delivery guaranteed in under 24 hours. That might be a bit long for a call out, but under 24 hours delivery, right? That's more specific and using a number as well. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about there with specifics and call outs. Structured snippets. Okay. So again, here's how they look. There's going to be a header. So this here is the header, brands, and then it's listing the different brands that this advertiser has. And you don't just have to do brands, there's a lot of flexibility with this. Pretty much everyone can be using structured snippets. Sometimes you have to get a bit creative in how you write them, because you have to choose a set header for your structured snippets. So let me show you what I mean. If we create a new structured snippet, and again, you can add it to the account or the campaign level, and then you select a header type. So select the most relevant header type for your business. And when you look up here, amenities, brands, courses, degree programs, you might think, oh, I'm going to struggle to find one of these that's actually relevant to my business. But I think everyone can find at least one header type that is relevant to their business, because at the bottom we have styles and types. So if in doubt, usually you can go to types, and every business can come up with some sort of different type options. So, and also, add multiple versions. So back to this product here, we might add types for the different categories. So we might have types, and then I might put in my categories here: omega-3s, vitamins, gummies. And then the other tip that I had there, I'm not going to do the full list, but let's save that. The other tip that I had here was add multiple versions, so you don't just have to stop at one site link. Now, once we've created that site link, what we can then do is, structured snippet. Once you've created that structured snippet, you can then go in and add a new one and go for a different type of structured snippet. So just now I did types, but we can add an additional structured snippet. Let's say we've also got multiple brands, and I can add a brands structured snippet in addition, right? So you don't just have to stop at one header type and one structured snippet. You can add multiple structured snippets, and then Google's going to choose the best one for each ad auction, and you can have different header types for your structured snippets. So structured snippets are another one where you can customize per campaign. Like with Sitelinks, instead of just leaving it at the account level, which I recommend for most ad assets, you can customize this per campaign. And just don't forget about your structured snippets. You can update it with seasonal ranges or new products and services when those come in. Headlines and descriptions. Okay, so finally we get to one where I don't just say everyone can use it. Who can use headline and description assets? Actually, I would mostly just recommend skipping this asset type entirely. Why? Because it's a bit redundant, because your RSA, your responsive search ads, should already cover this, right? Like, you have already written ad copy for your ad group, you've already taken the time, hopefully, to write really good headlines and descriptions within your responsive search ad, right? These headline and description assets that we see on the assets page are exactly the same. It's just the same type of you're not adding anything new to your ad, right? And normally using headline and description is a bit redundant because we've already added good headline and descriptions to our responsive search ads. So normally I would skip this. It's redundant, avoid redundancy, and there are a couple of exceptions. One exception is when you're doing a universal promo, a promo across the business. You can add a headline asset into the account level, and then that just quickly gets the promo out as a headline in your ads across the account. So that can be useful. The other time where headline and description assets might be useful is as a safety net for huge account. When you've got like thousands or tens of thousands of ad groups and it's really difficult to manage and you're not sure if every single ad group has the right amount of headlines and descriptions, you can quickly add headline and description assets at the account level to just make sure you've got some sort of copy for every single ad group. But for most people, I just recommend skipping headlines and descriptions. Okay, call assets. Oh, I don't want to skip how they look. Really simple. It's going to be a phone number underneath the ad. The phone number is clickable, and then it just starts a phone call when people are coming in from mobile. So who's this useful for? Lead generation businesses and campaigns, usually. Sometimes useful for B2B high ticket e-commerce if you're taking orders over the phone, which is sometimes common for B2B high ticket e-commerce. Basically anyone who actually extracts values from phone calls. Having the phone call ad extension, or ad asset, I should call it by the new name, having the phone call ad asset improves the conversion rate to phone call because it just makes it loads easier. So, especially, I should have added in here, this can be really good for local businesses as well. Like, let's say you're a plumber or pest control. Click to call ad extensions are great because oftentimes people just want a quick response. They just quickly want to call someone and book something in, right? So it can be great for those situations. So yeah, great for phone-driven businesses. If you're not a phone-driven business, if you don't actually extract value from phone calls, then skip it. It's usually not for e-commerce. Most B2C e-commerce companies don't want to be setting up phone call ad extensions because you're just going to get bad calls and wasted clicks. It's just going to be like customers ringing up for support. You don't want to be paying for that type of phone call. Track conversions from your calls. So you can set this up within Google Ads. You can set up call tracking. Without call tracking, you're only going to be tracking people who clicked the ad. But with call tracking, you can set up a call conversion. Like, let's say you make it so that it only counts as a call conversion when they've been on the line for more than 1 minute, right? Then you actually get some useful conversion data on those calls that you're getting from Google Ads, and it's much easier to optimize this for high performance. Also limit it to your business hours. If you only sort of pick up the phone and accept phone calls during certain business hours, be sure to set up an ad schedule within your campaign settings, okay? Lead forms. Okay, let's do this quickly because this is another one where I don't think anyone should really use it. Who should use it? Probably no one, except if you're testing, but do beware the risk, right? It's lead forms look like this. When it's on the ad, it might actually look like this. It might be a button where you can book now, or like you can customize the text and call to action, obviously. But what it is instead of sending that traffic to your landing page to fill out a form, the form pops open right there in Google. So they don't leave the Google search results page. You can get a very simple form. There's only a limited amount of fields you can put on these forms and a limited ability to customize the forms, but the form pops up right in Google. So it makes it a lot easier for people to fill in the form, like to fill in a form and say they're interested, to book a call or to get a quote or what have you. So on the surface, it might sound really good. Like if you make it easier for people to become a lead, you get more leads. And that is true. You do tend to get a cheaper cost per lead, more leads for the same spend, but you just have to be aware of the lower lower lead quality. I've seen this almost every time when we try lead forms, is the lead quality is so much worse compared to the lead quality of the leads we're sending to our site and our proper landing page. It's so much worse that it's just not worth doing the lead forms, right? If you are going to test lead forms, I mean, it's like, in my experience, it generally doesn't work, but test it for yourself. Don't just believe some guy on YouTube. If you want to test it for yourself, I would just advise that you also track lead quality, right? Make sure you're tracking lead quality. Make sure you're able to distinguish within your back-end reporting the quality of the leads that are coming from the Google lead form versus the quality of your leads from other channels. And if you're doing that and you're keeping a close eye on that lead quality for the lead form stuff, then yeah, sure, give it a test, but don't expect it to be high quality leads, because it probably won't be. Okay, and keep your forms short and relevant. Don't add, with the fields, like just keep it short and punchy. Make it as easy as possible for people to become a lead. Message assets, these are relatively new, and what it allows you to do is this. So you get a button at the bottom where people can click a button to send you a message. So similar to call assets, these are useful for lead gen and service businesses, but only if you already sort of have a process for accepting messages. So if you accept messages and if you sort of nurture your leads, accept leads and nurture leads over messaging services, then these could be for you. It allows text and chat directly from the ad. So you click a button and then you're sending a message to your business. Works in some service industries, rarely useful for e-commerce. You need to have a fast response time, but if you are a business that relies on leads via messages, I'm sure you knew that already. And you can set up the settings in Google so that it's using SMS, or you can use a messaging app of your choice. For example, WhatsApp is supported, Facebook Messenger is supported, and a bunch of other common messenger apps are supported by Google. So you can use the platform that works for you. Location ad assets. They look like this. You get an address underneath your ad. Again, useful for local service businesses where proximity to the customer is important. Oftentimes with local services, customers are looking for someone close by so that they can be in the area to fix their problem quickly. And also useful for e-commerce, or more specifically retail. Like if you are selling online but you also have retail outlets, good to have all your addresses input and showing up, because it can be great for helping to drive foot traffic. People see the address and then they know where to go to find your store. Skip if online only. You don't need to use location assets if you are an online only e-commerce store, for example. Prices though, now these are great. I love price extensions because, well, once again, they do make quite a big impact on your ad size. So look at that. It makes the ad a lot bigger on the page. There's the price extension. And what you get to do is you can customize it. You can write this in yourself, and you can write in the product or category name, and you can use from pricing. Okay, so that's one of my tips, is use from pricing to show the cheapest price. So if we go into creating a new price asset, so what you can do is add a qualifier from, And then what you can do is showcase your cheapest price. Something I like to do. So let's say our cheapest price on that one is, I don't know, $24.95. So from pricing allows you to get the cheapest price in there, which can have a nice positive impact on CTR, especially from consumers who are very price sensitive. Do make sure to keep your prices accurate and updated. Once you go in on price assets, then you are committed to always updating them. Like any price assets that you've got where the prices change, you need to manually update it. It's good for pre-qualifying customers by budget, so customers are going to be able to see how much your stuff costs right there on the ads, which can pre-qualify them. And then, this is a bit debatable. Some people say one thing, I actually say the opposite. Some people would say if you're high priced, like if you're e-commerce and you have really high ticket items compared to your competition, don't add price assets, because then you're just showing off the fact that you're more expensive. So a lot of people would advise that. I actually like to often do the opposite, and even if you're high priced, do show price assets, because you're pre-qualifying customers by budget, and the customers who are going to be turned off by higher prices, they just don't click your ad, so you don't end up paying for that click from a customer who was never going to buy from you because they don't have the budget for it. And also, like your high ticket customers, the customers who are going to buy the high ticket thing, sometimes they've got the sort of mindset where they're specifically looking for the more expensive option. Like I do this sometimes, when I'm buying certain things, like a notebook, I go for the more expensive fancy notebook, like the moleskin notebook, whereas you can actually get a cheap notebook for 1/10 the price, right? So some customers are actually looking for the more expensive option, and if you add price assets for your high ticket e-commerce stuff, you're going to be appealing to them. App assets, really simple and obvious one. This is for mobile apps. If you have a mobile app, and you're running Google Ads, you probably already know about this extension type. You're going to get the logo for your app there. You're going to get a call to action button where they can install the app there. It does work for shopping or loyalty apps as long as you're on the App Store. Make sure to point to the correct App Store on either iOS, Android, or both. And make sure to add in 2 ad assets, one for each of the stores, right? You have to do it twice. So once for your iOS app, once for your Android app, assuming you're on both stores. And then, later you do definitely want to track app installs with your app analytics so that you can actually track and optimize for who actually completes the install. Finally, last but not least, promotion assets. These are really good, but you can't run them all the time. These are for e-commerce stores who are actually running a promotion or discount, and they look like this. You can put a discount code and a little message at the bottom of the ads. These probably have one of the biggest impact on CTR, but you obviously need to be running a legit price promotion or discount to be able to use these. So my main tip here is just don't forget about them. So many advertisers that I see just forget that this is an option, right? So then they run a Black Friday sale and then they just forget to add promotion assets in Google Ads. Don't forget, do add your promotion assets. They are powerful, and when you're having a promotion, remember to add it in as an asset in Google. You can stand out with specific tags. So if it's a Black Friday sale, you can tag that specifically within the promotion asset as you're creating it. You can also schedule start and end dates ahead of time, and I recommend you do that because otherwise you might forget. I've seen lots of people do it where they just forget to either start or forget to end the promotion asset. And keep synced with live promos. If anything changes in your live promos, make sure to update your asset. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little e-commerce checklist. So not every asset type is for everyone. I know a lot of e-commerce businesses watch this channel, so for you guys, I just wanted to give you a little checklist. Here are the exact assets you want to run if you're e-commerce. Like, make sure you're running site link, image, business name and logo, call out, structured snippet, price. You want to, like, pretty much every e-commerce business wants to make sure you're running a good set of these types of assets. And then I put promotion in brackets because yes, you want to run that, but only when you actually have a price, promo, or discount. And if you need fully done for you help with your Google Ads, there's a link here, and there's a link below in the description as well. So as I mentioned earlier, I run a full service Google Ads agency called Big Flare. So if you want to never stress about Google Ads again and just have a small expert team run it for you, a team where everyone on the team is a veteran. I don't mean literally a veteran. I mean everyone on my team, all my account managers have more than 10 years experience in Google Ads or in their chosen ad platform. So I only work with really experienced account managers, and we turn 6 figures into 7 figures or 7 figures into 8 figures for our client businesses. And if that sounds good with you, if you need fully done for you help in Google Ads, link in the description below. So that's the full rundown of Google Ads assets. If you haven't set these up yet, go and do it right after the video. It's one of the easiest ways you can get a CTR win in Google Ads. And if you want to keep learning, I've got another video for you right up here somewhere where I cover whether you should choose standard shopping or performance max for your e-commerce Google Ads campaign. In that video, I'm going to cover the pros and cons of each option and give you specific tips on what you can do for maximal results from your Google Ads. So go and check that one out. I think you'll love it, and I'll see you on the next one.